Good evening, my dear friends. Today we have invited two very special personalities who have been experimenting and doing uh, so many good things to provide good health, mental health, and spiritual health, as well as the physical health for the community. And this husband and wife, Leo Velloz and Danvoy Velloz, they have been doing wonderful job. Before introducing them, we have introduced Paula Horan. So Paula Horan will give little introduction about the practices, about the alternative systems in which they have been working, and then we'll go ahead. So as a part of her interest in vibrational healing such as Reiki, which she is known for through some of her books, Dr. Paula Horan has researched Rife technology for over 30 years. She is particularly interested in the great success of Royal R. Rife in healing cancer and plethora of conditions. My God, cancer is the biggest challenge in the world, and we are running after this COVID. Also, in work of Nikola Tesla and Wilhelm Reich in this regard of the great interest and will be further elucidated by her two colleagues. I have already told you about them, who have done extensive study in the field of vibrational medicine, also referred to as magnetobiology. Join Paula and her friends Leo and Denovi today with us. And I hope that I should not speak much about them. Let them speak. And we are going to have very fruitful day today, very charismatic day, very powerful day, very energy giving day. And it is going to be a very specific time frame for us, those who all are watching and those who are going to watch later once the program is over. So now, Dr. Paula Horan, please introduce your guest duo and very briefly, and let us start our talk.
Yes. I think the best way for me to start to introduce my friends is we've been friends for quite a few years. I've forgotten how many now. But before I actually knew that they were interested in frequency healing, as I am, I mean, they had organized several programs. And I just want to tell you how I came into the machine that Leo is going to introduce today. What happened, you see, is for the last 10 years, I would go twice a year to China to work for about 3 months. And I had to have these intensive tours. I'd be doing like sometimes 5-day retreats or 3-day weekends and traveling in between. And it was really rugged on my body, really hectic, because I go to many cities. And anyway, I came back from China, went to Hyderabad to do a long retreat there, to guide a retreat. And then I was coming to Mumbai to lead a 3-day program there. And I got to Mumbai that morning in the train. It was like 6 in the morning, and I had to start that morning at 9 o'clock. And I got to Leo's place, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Leo, I don't know how I'm going to get through this weekend. I'm so sorry, but I'm really zonked." And he just grins at me and he says, "Well, I have something for you." And I said, "What do you?" And then he brings out this wonderful, he'll show it to you later, this beautiful rainbow-looking gizmo with a crystal sticking out. And I thought to myself, what is this new age cuckoo thing? You know? And he says, "Oh, just hold it. Just hold it right now." And we continued our conversation. And I'm telling you, folks, I was really exhausted. I honestly didn't know how I was going to do those next 3 days. And so we're sitting there and we're talking, and all of a sudden, about 5 minutes later, I realized, oh my gosh, I feel all right. I feel rested. And I looked at Leo and I said, "Leo, what is this thing? What is it?" And he says, "Oh, it's a power wand." I said, "Power wand? What do you mean?" See, he didn't realize that I had done years of study of Royal Rife that I'm going to talk about in just a couple minutes. And and Wilhelm Reich and so on and so on. And he goes, oh, it's a power one. And I said, what? And I said, well, but what is the technology? What are you doing? And he says, well, I'm using Wilhelm Reich and the Tesla coil. Well, I knew a bit about Tesla too, as I'm sure many of you do. Nikola Tesla, the great guy who created electricity, put it up on a, JP Morgan helped him build a thing where he could send out free electricity back in 1913. And then when JP Morgan found out that he couldn't make money off the thing, he just tore it down. And then we ended up with this really primitive electricity we have now. So anyway, Leo uses that technology from Tesla plus the Wilhelm Reich, which I'll talk about in just a minute or so, and to transmit frequencies, okay? And they can actually go beyond time and space, because one thing I want to just say really quick is that when I would travel in India and in China in different cities, every once in a while, I wanted to introduce my friends to his technology. So we'd get on Skype or we'd get on WhatsApp, and then he would show the thing and then turn a frequency on, okay? And then he'd just get everybody to imagine they're holding it, and then they would start to feel that frequency. In fact, he has a woman in London who has one of his gizmos, one of the orgone generators. He calls it a power one. And she can actually hook up her phone to it, and when she's traveling, and then change the frequencies and tune into her own orgone generator to heal her body. She doesn't even have to carry it with her. It's like that. So this technology can literally go beyond time and space. And so I don't want to take too much longer in intros to myself or them. I will talk, then I'll let them talk. And we'll get right into demonstrating this for you, so you can actually feel the energies from their orgone generators in your own home where you are right now. So, just a little bit about myself. I'm mostly known as the person who brought Reiki to India in 1989. Now, Reiki is a simple form of laying on of hands, which calms the mind and raises the life force energy. Now, my background is in psychology. I have a doctorate in psychology, and my biggest interest is in how to aid the shift in consciousness that we're going through today, whether energetically through healing ourselves with our own hands or with tools like Leo and Dan have created, which are just amazing. And unfortunately, with the plutocracy, in other words, this rule we are under now by the wealthy, come technocracy, which is killing our planet with their chemical medicines that cause iatrogenic disease and chemical farming, consisting essentially of highly toxic glyphosate and GMO genetically modified food, which has caused a veritable plague of autoimmune disease, much bigger than even the COVID. When I say those words, I have to be weird, because otherwise, they don't want us talking about it, right? So anyway, over 50% of Americans right now have autoimmune disease, and it's caused by the GMO food. It's caused by toxic medicines. The third biggest cause of death in America after heart disease and cancer is iatrogenic disease, physician-caused disease due to bad chemical drugs, which they're about to inundate us with if they have their way. So be careful, folks. And so it's really time that we start to use common sense and make a quick shift to energy medicine. Energy medicine is the medicine of the future. It's the one that has been so suppressed. And I'm going to talk in a minute just about Royal Reich, who developed literally cured cancer over and over. I'm going to read a couple quotes from a book real quick so you can get it real fast. What Royal Reich did is he was amazing. He developed the precursor to the electron microscope way back in the 20s and 30s, okay? And so what he could do is he could take a little piece of disease like a biopsy, put it under a microscope, and he could tell the frequency of the disease. And from that, he then created another machine called the Reich machine, which would then send out the opposite frequency to the disease. And like he did this for cancer, all right? And I want to just read a paragraph. This is a really great book. I recommend you all get it. It's called Vibrational Medicine by Richard Gerber, MD. And I wrote this when it first came out in 1988. It's an extraordinary book. It has a lot about Reich and Reif, the people we'll be talking about. Now here it says, in 1934, Reif participated in investigational cancer research at the University of Southern California. Utilizing the Reif beam ray, he exposed 16 patients with various forms of terminal cancer to daily 3-minute intervals of the MOR frequency of the BX organism. See, one of the things that made him controversial is he found a microorganism he felt which contributed to cancer, which, by the way, has been proven by other people too, but they aren't allowing this to come out. So anyway, 3 months later, 14 of these patients were pronounced cured by a staff of 5 medical doctors. Even in such experimental trials with the Reif beam ray, Reif's success rate in curing all forms of cancer was higher than 90%, a cure rate that is unequaled today. So naturally, when I heard about this 30 years ago, I thought, man, I want to get a Reif machine. And so that day when Leo told me that his gizmo he could hook up Reif frequencies to that, I was like elated. I had made a special trip in 1995. I'd heard there was a guy in Florida who was able to reconstruct, because see what happened is the government went in and stole all the machines and kept them. I mean, it's like, basically it's the deep state, not the normal government, but the deep state, the technocracy, the plutocracy that are trying to rule us now. And we must stop them. Otherwise we will not, this earth will not survive. And that's not a joke. I'm not exaggerating. So, and just to remind you that of how many kinds of frequency gizmos there are already being used. Well, like in physical therapy departments now, they use ultrasound devices to soothe aching muscles. And remember, these are also used to check the health of babies. Orthopedic surgeons and Olympic athletes use the PMF therapy. I've had a PMF machine for 10 years that I use every day. And as I'm getting older, what it does is, see, as you get older, you don't detoxify as easily. And what this machine does is it opens up, you can see it. They have this really high tech now possibility of photographing inside the body. And so it can actually show, when you turn on a PMF machine, it opens up and it's just pulsed electromagnetic frequencies is what it's using. It's emulating the frequencies of the earth, which by the way, are not the same anymore because they've been destroyed by all the Wi-Fi that we're using. Okay, when I use funny words like that, I'm doing it so that I'm throwing off computers, got it? So also the TENS, transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation units to electrically suppress pain. These are also, and then you have homeopathy, which works by frequency. They poo-pooed it. Homeopathy, by the way, was the main form of medicine in America up until the 30s, when Rockefeller came in and he just poo-pooed the whole thing, and because he knew he could make many dollars, millions and millions off medicines. And that's why he got his research whore, Louis Pasteur, excuse my French in using that language, but he deserves that term because he was literally creating that. He basically used his good friend Claude Bernard, who was actually proving that the main cause of disease is a weak immune system, and he used his friend's research to prove the opposite. The one germ, one cure thing, which really needs to come to an end. It's nonsense. If you listen to the brilliant Zach Bush, if you listen to Robert O. Young, please write those names down and look them up. Or Dr. Leo Rebello or Sudha Chapiala, who I had on this show before. Please watch their show. Learn about the microbiome. Learn about what really causes disease. And frequency is one of the best ways to heal the diseases that are in the interstitium, our biggest organ of the body, which gets toxic from the stuff that's basically the interstitium is the space between the cells. And when the cells dump all the toxins, it goes into this interstitium and into the fluid in the interstitium, which is called the interstitial fluid. So basically all this is what these doctors are finding with the current, that we're facing right now is poisoning in the interstitium. Zach Bush has been curing COVID by putting people on these antitoxin things. And that's what does it. Now, let's see, what's the time? I don't want to take too much time because I want to make sure Leo has plenty of time. Yeah, I want to talk a bit about frequencies. So Rife technology basically is extraordinary. If you go online, you can find just like these dictionaries, and Leo can give these to you, by the way. You know, he has a whole dictionary of thousands of diseases, and they each have like 10 or 11 frequencies you play simultaneously on a tone generator through his gizmo, and it acts as good as the old Rife machine did. And for example, he had a guy who actually managed to heal a kidney stone overnight. He was due to have surgery the next day, and then he turned on the frequency for kidney stones, and boom, it dissolved. It was dissolved in one night. I healed my partner up in the Himalayas of a concussion using Rife technology. It was extraordinary using Leo's gizmo. And later, unfortunately, his daughter had a bad fall and a concussion too, and I healed it with the Rife machine. We have no clinics, no doctors, no nothing up there where I live or have been living in the Himalayas. So it was a godsend to have this gizmo. Trust me on that. So that's the Rife technologies. Now, another frequency that I learned from Leo and Dan that they're going to be introducing us tonight is the Savaggio frequencies. And I have an extraordinary quick story to tell you about Savaggio frequencies. Now, Savaggio frequencies are the frequencies that the Benedictine monks in the Catholic Church would chant. And you have to hear the story. It's mind-blowing. In Hiroshima, Japan, just during World War II, okay, there was a small monastery of Benedictine monks who chanted, the Savaggio frequencies for hours and hours. They only slept 4 hours a night. They were either gardening, meditating, or chanting all the time. And when that Hiroshima, and their compound was very close. I think it was only something crazy, like 20 miles away from point zero where the atomic bomb hit, in Hiroshima. And what was so amazing is these monks that morning were eating their breakfast. They weren't even in their chapel, okay? And what was so amazing is their church was dissolved into dust, like all the buildings around. But the one standing near in their compound was their little kitchen that they were all having breakfast in. And this story was told to one of my German students many years later. They were a German monk. And he met this guy in an airport who told him the whole story. And this has been told in many Catholic magazines as well. I found it just recently. Somebody showed me in a Catholic, I was visiting some Catholic friend. It was amazing. So anyway, yeah, so nothing happened to these monks. And what protected them? Well, it was the Savaggio frequencies that they were singing all day long. It obviously had changed the vibratory frequency of their cells. So they were totally protected from the atomic bomb of all things. And this is extraordinary to me because I can remember my past life. I was Japanese and I died. I was in Hiroshima and I died from that bomb. Well, I actually died 3 months later. I was far enough away that my house didn't dissolve, but my family was taken out and I'm behind a cement wall. So I lived 3 months with my skin peeling off and I had past life memory come back, that affair. So to me, this story I just told you is extraordinary, that these people were much closer than I must have been in that life to that atomic bomb going off and no reactions. So, and one other quick story. Okay, so I've been talking about the good things, and I want to just quickly talk about, I'm looking at the time, guys. For you to know that the Illuminati, in other words, that our technocracy bosses that are trying to take over the world right now, they have known about the power of frequencies for a long, long time. And a good example is this. Back in the 20s and 30s, these guys tried to take over Western music. See, Western music for centuries was always tuned at frequency 432. 432. And they bugged. See, the head of Western music was basically in Vienna, Austria, where the music is kind of centered from in Europe. And they kept bugging the heads of the music departments and everything to change the tuning frequency from 432, which is a resonant frequency, to 440, which is a dissonant frequency. It's not a healthy, it's a negative frequency. And finally, they must have paid off enough people that the leaders of Western music went with the change. And now when you get a tone generator, they always start at 440 and you have to cross those out and you put the new frequencies in. So, that's how musicians now tune at. However, there's a wonderful guy, look him up, Lenny Horowitz. Lenny Horowitz. He's exposing this whole fraud. And he even created a software system for musicians that they can give them their music, and he will take that dissonant frequency out and put 432 back in. Okay, so any of you guys who are musicians out there and play Western music, want to change your music to a resonant frequency, a healthy healing frequency, Lenny Horowitz is the guy to look for. All right, I think I've covered most of the important things about Sapagio. And just one other quick thing I want to say is, folks, we have such high technology now with frequency healing. You're going to start hearing about the secret space programs. And one of the things that the secret space program actually has, that I've been studying this for 7 years with some of the whistleblowers from those programs, is they have what's called a medical bed, just like you see in Star Trek. And just quickly, one interesting thing about Star Trek. Star Trek was instigated by Admiral Leslie, who was the first commander of the secret space program with the Navy. This is way beyond what NASA does. NASA is kind of a joke, actually. It's been a cover for the real thing that's been going on. And so Admiral Leslie talked his son, Leslie Jr., into working with Gene Roddenberry to create Star Trek, because he wanted to start teaching humans about, humanity, about space. But see, there was also supposedly another space program run by possibly the Air Force, is what we've been told by several different whistleblowers. But that one, unfortunately, has been controlled by the cabal, by the deep state, and doing not good things. So this is one of the reasons it is said that Trump has been put out this new Space Force to get control of the bad guys and put things back into the hands of humanity, like medical beds, which are frequency healers. Okay, so we have exciting things coming to us. We're going to have free energy from Nikola Tesla. We're going to have, instantly healing medical beds and all kinds of amazing things. So anyway, yeah, I want to just turn it over now to my dear friend, Danvoy, and she can talk a little bit about her experiences and then turn it over to Dan to do a demonstration. Thank you so much. Dan, it's your turn. Can't hear you, Dan. I cannot hear you. You're muted. Can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you, honey. Kailash, can you do something to make her? I don't know if there's something on your end. I'm not hearing her. Can't hear you. Huh. How about Leo?
Leo.
Is yours working? Maybe you can give her yours. I hear some background noise.
Tell her to remove her, earphone, and she can use without using her earphone.
Yeah, take your earphone out. Take your earphone out, Danvoy.
Now her devices is not connected. She has gone out. Leo, by that time you can start speaking in between.
I think he's over there helping her. Huh. Leo, can we hear Leo?
Yeah,
Leo,
yeah.
Can we hear you? Dan,
okay.
Can we hear you? I can't hear you. Ah!
We,
What's going on? I'm not hearing a word, Dan. Not a word. Leo, you should try
the
yours.
others, wait. Others are hearing because other people are saying that they are hearing.
Oh, good. Okay, I don't hear it. It doesn't
Please,
matter if I
please,
hear.
please
Okay.
wait.
Well, it does matter, but that's okay. I want them to hear you.
Danvi, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You please. Danvi, we can't hear you. I will request. I will request Leo to give her his system. There is no audio. Danvi, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You please. Danvi, we can't hear you.
All right.
All right.
Oh, it's going on and on.
Yeah.
Now I hear you,
Okay.
but you're echoing a bit.
Now, can you hear
Now
me?
we can hear you.
Okay.
Turn off your second cell
Um,
phone. Yeah. Stop the
all right. I'm just going to switch that off so
Yeah.
it doesn't interfere with
Great. I hear you
the
now.
quality. It's strange because I can hear it very clearly on. Anyways, so that's that. So, um, like I was saying, technology is something that we can't do without. In today's day and age, it is a necessity. And one second,
Oh, please talk
little
about
snafu over here.
4G
So,
and FIVEG. I didn't do that. Okay. Please.
sure. So, the thing is that the problem is not with technology. The problem is the manner in which technology is being introduced to us all the time. Very often, we literally have no control over what's being put into our environment. And all of us are just literally just existing without understanding what changes are occurring to us, what changes are occurring in our body, in our thought process. Now you see the spiraling depression, the paranoia, this quest for this unknown thing that people seem to be having. In the past couple of years, the number of people we have walking into our space saying that they're suffering from depression, and they have no idea why. And we understand that this is linked directly to the increasing tech that we are using. In fact, when we installed an antenna to improve the internet in our own office, the 4G connection, it was horrible. We started getting backaches and pains, and then the next thing we realized is that we put a wand next put a wand on, we switched it on, and the backaches disappeared, the headaches disappeared. And now we consider ourselves to be the privileged few who have access to this, who are using technology that can heal. But not everyone does. And a lot of people are suffering and they are unable to understand why this is happening. You see, the problem is that most of the research regarding 4G and 5G and all other aspects that we are being exposed to is being financed by telecom companies. And all of these will insist that the radiation is of your phone and the technology you're using is within prescribed limits. But and they say that there is no correlation to cancer or to depression, but there is hardcore body of scientific evidence being gathered by doctors and by scientists that claim otherwise. Now, I remember some 10 years ago, I read this article about this young couple expecting their baby, moved into a new house, and I think this was in England. And they had their baby, all very happy, lovely room created for the child. But one morning they woke up and the baby wasn't moving. The coroner put it down to sudden infant death syndrome, and that was it. The parents were so heartbroken. They shifted houses, and a new family moved in. And the same situation reoccurred. And when this did, the GP said something is wrong. There's no way that this situation can recur. Same house, same age. So he did a little investigation, and he found out that
Router.
the what would you call it? The router. Yes, the router was placed on the wall on the other side of the baby's cot, and the poor child was being exposed to this, and I guess obviously at that point nobody thought that this was something so dangerous, but there it was. Um, well, that was a long time ago. That was 9, 10 years ago. And now our internet speed is faster, more advanced, our devices are more sophisticated. We have even more satellites in space beaming God knows what down to us, you know? And all of this is in the name of progress. And we are aware of only a very small percentage of all this. Now, if you look back, progress has always come to us at a very high cost. Yeah. We sacrifice more and we are deviating from our essence, who we truly are. Most of us are spending our lives feeling that we are locked in an endless battle where it's about survival. And even if you have evolved enough to the point to realize that this is just a game being played and you play out of it, it is still not possible for you to be unaffected. Yeah. Now, most of you already have some kind of a background in healing. Most of you are quite knowledgeable about all of this. So you understand how fluid energy is and how through healing you can affect change in the human body. If you are familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiments, then you will know that words or energy like love, joy, compassion, peace form beautiful crystals in the ice, whereas negative things like hatred, anger, you see the crystals, ice crystals form into very distorted and very unpleasant looking shapes. Yeah. Also, you might have heard of this rice experiment. Maybe some of you would have even conducted it yourself, where you put rice in two different bowls, and to one bowl you basically throw out all your anger and your hatred, and you just demonize that little bowl, and the other bowl or jar, you say nice things to it. You say, "I love you, rice. You're so beautiful. I'm so grateful to you." And over time, you will find that the jar that receives the love and affection, the rice still looks fresh and white and beautiful, whereas the jar that is getting the abuse, it starts rotting. And this has actually even been covered in many movies. And if you haven't done this experiment, you need to try it. It is quite amazing when you learn how powerful your thoughts, your speech, your intention is. Yeah. Now, let's say, uh, now if imagine if this is the effect, if just speech or just 2 minutes of anger being directed at something can cause it to rot and to spoil. Imagine what is happening to our bodies. We are all the time in a hostile environment created due to radiation, created due to Wi-Fi, and we are so unaware of it. We are blissfully unaware of it. But the reality is the electromagnetic field around us is faltering, and it is changing in response to the extreme changes in the environment. If you live in a busy city, well, you're going to feel the effects more than anyone else. Somebody living in a village may not feel it as much as you do. Much, but the thing is, this is not something anybody can escape from, no matter where you are in the world, whether you're in the Himalayas or on a deserted island. Um, well, you know, And I think the proof of it is the rising rates of depression, of suicide, of cancer. And the tragedy is that this is now accepted as inevitable. Drawing from our own personal experience, I can tell you, some months ago, tech was installed in our building without anyone in the society being informed, apart from the, I guess, the guys who make the decisions. And Leo and I started wondering, why are we feeling headachy and cranky and irritable? And as it happened, well, we switched on our power, we put on our power wand with the intention of canceling out whatever was causing the discordance, and we went back to normal. We were fine. But a few days later, our internet started giving us trouble. So the tech guy who came in to solve our problem happened to mention that Airtel has installed these routers in our building, microwaves, 5G routers, and that was what's causing
FIVEG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter is going to go to class 5G next year, so that's kind
Yeah.
of that's kind of the way it goes. You know, you may run off to the Himalayas, you may think I can escape all this, but you can't escape because there is no escape. This energy is everywhere, whether we like it or not. And we really do need to find a solution for all of us that does work, right? Now,
And excuse me, Donovan, tell them what happened to the people on the top of your building and the top floors. When you guys started getting the headaches, you
oh yeah,
discovered what? That they all had what? Remember?
the big C, the new big C, people
Yeah.
started falling ill with that.
And
You
I
know?
want to just add here too, Donovan, the same time, because I was talking to Leo at that time, I could not wake up. Every day I'd get up, work out, and I'd sleep all day long for 2 weeks. And I found out that the FIVEG had just been turned on in Delhi for sure, in Mumbai, and I believe where I was in Hyderabad too. Okay, the same time you guys were having the same problem. And then I did an EFT session on a woman in Baroda who had it also on her roof, and she had excruciating headaches.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I just want to mention that.
Yeah. Well, I'm aware that a lot of you here today are Reiki masters, pranic healers, or you're like experts in some modality of healing. But today, that is no longer enough. Chanting regularly, meditating every day, cleansing your energy. It is just the beginning of what we need to do to just be in integrity, be in our own space, to be able to thrive as humans as opposed to just survive. Yeah, when each of us started on our journeys, we learned to heal, to manage our inner energy, to bring balance into the external. But today that's virtually impossible because we are being bombarded constantly, and more often than not, we are being bombarded with different intentions. Yeah. So the focus has shifted for us from evolution to maintenance, to no fault of our own. So what I'm suggesting to you today is to create this dynamic energy field around you that you can control. And I would love to talk more, but since we are a little short on space, I'm going to hand this over to Leo, and I'm going to allow him to introduce frequencies as well as the orgone power wand to help you all. Over to you, Leo.
Leo, we can't see you or hear you. There you are.
Hi. Sorry for the technical snag. You know, technology is a necessity evil. We can't do with it, we can't do without it. So good. I would like to thank Dr. Mishra. I would like to thank Paula and my beloved wife Dan for the intro, and they've spoken before me. So I'm just going to do the demo. I'm just going to do the demo, and I'm going to speak very little, and I'm going to let you all experience it. And then after that, if you'll have any questions, I'll come in.
Technology is the loving rascal, and I
You put it in a very
and
sweet
I
way.
So, and listen, so Leo, tell them what you're
because
going to do.
yeah,
You're
you
going
have
to
to
place
accept the
us
sweetness of
your
the
I
technology
frequency.
just
because without technology you can't go, you know.
exactly. You
And
can't do anything.
Mr. Leo, before you start, I would tell you to kindly justify the statement, one single statement given by Dr. Paula Horan. Paula
Hmm.
says that it is, beyond time and space. How can
Hmm.
it be beyond time and space? That is the only question that immediately occurred in my mind, and I just wanted to know from you if you have the
Right.
answer or if you just want to
Right.
ignore her statement. That's all.
Okay.
Please start.
All right. One thing is, I do have the answer, but I don't know whether it's appropriate to answer it now or after the demo.
After the demo. After the demo.
Okay, perfect. So I'll go on with the demo, and I promise you, Dr. Kailash, I will answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
And please tell them what you're playing, Leo, that they are
Right.
Safajo
Sure.
frequencies, like the ones I
I will
talked about. Yeah.
definitely. I will.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
So first, let me show you what the power wand looks like. Like we've evolved to what it looks like now. This is what it is. Okay, it's a cylindrical device. There's a core crystal inside. Around the crystal, there are coils. There's a copper coil, there's a silver coil, there's a Tesla coil, and this creates a flux in energy. It's a very simple principle. Okay, but the way it's pulled
Tilt,
together,
Leo, tilt little towards your right side. Right? No, no, right, reverse side. Yes, now it is all right. No, no, reverse, reverse. No, no, no.
no,
Yes, yes. Now it is in the center. Okay.
okay, perfect. So, so this is we call it the power wand, and we are open to suggestions if you all have suggestions to name it a better name. But I think so. We've gone along with the power wand,
Mhm.
right? So now what I'm going to do, I've explained to you the aspect of the power wand. Now I'm going to run a frequency. Now I run a frequency to a device. In this case, I'm running it through my computer. You can run it through your phone. You can run it through your iPad. You can run it through your laptop. You can run it through any any device that has a sound out. Okay. So I'm going to run one frequency now. Give me 1 second. And the frequency is running from my computer through this cord, stereo cord, and it's going into a plug that's here. Now this frequency goes into the coils and it gets converted to healing energy. So I just want you all, everybody who's tuning in, to just close your eyes, to relax, take a deep breath, and imagine yourself holding this device. Okay, and I just want you to observe what you feel. It may not be something tangible. And as soon as you'll connect to the power wand and you feel something or it resonates with you, you can just observe, get in touch with it. And if you like to share, you can just share what you feel.
Well, I'd like to share what I
Sure.
felt is just the hands. Um, my hands kind of got soft, a soft feeling. And then also it went in around my heart, around the heart, and a little bit into the solar plexus and belly, but mostly around my heart.
Yeah.
With this
So I'm
frequency.
running frequency 528. 528 is for your heart chakra.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Right.
So we work through frequencies. We don't work with the physical body. That is the doctor's job. We only work through frequencies and energy. And just cleaning your energy makes all the difference, you know. Here, Dr. Mishra, this is how I would explain your question. Now see, Dr. Paula is in Goa. I'm in Mumbai. Now I've generated this frequency that goes to the power wand, and she feels it in Goa, and there are so many other people who are feeling it too. So this is beyond space, you know. That means we are not confined to the same space, but people are still feeling it. Now beyond time is, like, say somebody's in the US in a different time zone, somebody's in China, somebody's in London, somebody's in Paris. They're all in different time zones. So when this frequency is run, people feel it in different time zones. And people who have done Reiki will know, if you've done your second level of Reiki, you will know that you can program healing for a particular time. Like say your daughter or your son is giving an exam, and probably you're busy at that time, you have to attend a meeting. And you sit in the morning and you set an intention that at 10 o'clock, the healing energy will go to my kid so that they can really do their paper well. And then you continue with your meeting, and the energy will reach your kid at that point of time. So, Dr. Mishra, have I answered your question?
Yeah, you have answered. But you know, the time I was not talking when I was talking about, see, about the space, I'm convinced. About the
Right,
time, I am not yet convinced, because you know, when I am talking about the time, I am not talking about the time of, you know, that AM and PM, and it is it is night in US and daytime in India, like, you know,
right,
not in that
right,
time. When I
right,
say time now, it means the universal time. Time is today, or maybe in the future, or maybe the time it has already spent. So you know the past, present, and future. So if you say
right,
beyond time and you see cross the boundaries of time, so I wanted to say time becomes time's a liquidity factor. You can go into
right.
the past and you can bring future in your head. So that was something that I wanted to
Yes.
know
See,
from you. See, I'm not challenging, not
that
opposing
is
you.
Right.
See,
one that is
Well,
one that is one aspect. But what we do is we use time
correct.
in a very linear fashion, because we are
Okay.
so used to using time from the left
Yeah,
hemisphere. But time can
yeah.
also be used in the right hemisphere.
Okay.
see, the
I'll give you an
truth
example.
is, Leo, the truth is everything's happening all at once anyway. The Buddha
Yeah,
would say that, okay? And I'm
true,
sure he did. Everything's happening now, right now.
correct,
What we know of is a past, present, and future is all happening in the present moment now. It's all now.
right, right,
The truth is there is no past, present, and future. There's only always the eternal moment now. And so
right,
through intention, it's really the intention that gets it to a certain space in this whole big dream.
right,
You know, the way I explain it to my students, it's kind of like if you imagine that end, you know, that life is like one big huge picture. Yeah.
right,
One big
mm,
picture. And that end that way represents the past. And
right,
that's the future.
true,
And here I am right now. Well, because of my five senses, I can only perceive what's in this room that I'm in, and I can see
sure,
you on my video and everybody else. But
right,
I can only, this is because of my five senses.
right,
But the truth is that if you step back from the whole picture is all actually happening at once. What we call
right,
past, present, and future is happening now. It's
right,
all happening at the same time.
right,
And so there is, and that's, so it's really a matter of intention that gets it to where
sure,
it wants to go. And so when I see you and I tune into you and this thing that you're holding, then I begin to feel what you're doing with it. I can feel that.
Sure. True. There was an article that I read,
There's no
and
separation because there's no separation.
true. There was an article that I read. Everybody knows who Tendulkar is, right? The cricketer.
Yeah, yeah.
Tendulkar, the cricketer. So in his article, he wrote, if somebody asked him that you're a fantastic batsman and you've really broken all records and all, how do you manage that? He says, when I'm hitting the ball, when somebody bowls, in my mind I slow the ball down and I can decide how I want to hit the ball. So he learned to bend time instinctively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I run another frequency for y'all?
Please do. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay.
We want people to
Please.
get an experience of the different frequencies because they do
Please.
feel very different.
Okay, so I've changed the frequency. I just want you all to relax. Imagine yourself holding the wand. And just observe what you feel, where it resonates with you. So anybody would like to share their experience?
Yeah, somebody just said root chakra. Yeah, that's where I felt it too.
Bibha Sharma is writing root chakra.
That's
Bibha,
true.
do you want to explain it further?
And I felt it all the way to the top of my head, but it started kind of in the
I was
root.
running 396, and that's the frequency for the root chakra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bingo. Yeah.
So perfect, good. You're in sync. So I understand we're running out of time. Do I get a chance to run a last frequency, Dr. Mishra?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I'm going to run another frequency. And I just want you all to observe.
Bibha is also telling that I felt a movement of energy.
Right.
That is the response that we have got from Bibha Sharma.
Right.
She said, I felt a movement of energy.
Right. Perfect. Brilliant.
Are you doing a different one now, Leo? Yeah. I'm feeling it here.
So anybody want to share?
I'm feeling it up here.
Yes, that's right. I'm running the throat chakra frequency.
Mm.
That's good. So good.
All right. Did you put another one on now?
Yeah, sure. I'll change another one. And I'm running it randomly, you know. I'm not running it sequentially so you all can guess. So I'm running it randomly and you're pretty good at figuring it out. Perfect. I've just changed this frequency. I just want you all to observe, connect with this wand. I know I'm rushing you all through this. I'm aware of the time ticking on my screen. So any feedback, anybody wants to say something or ask questions?
Feeling it at the top of my head.
Yes. This is the third eye chakra.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
So anybody like to ask questions, any doubts that you have?
Not really right now. Maybe after the program is over, somebody would come out with curiosity questions and
All right.
anything, and then I
Mm-hmm.
shall get back to you.
Sure,
Meanwhile, we can continue.
sure. So do you want me to run another frequency?
Yeah, one more can we do? We
One
have
last
time.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Kailash, what time do we close? What time do we have to? Is it 60 minutes or what?
The 60 minute is will be in the in 3 minutes we will be touching that 60 minute, and thereafter we'll have 15 more minutes to discuss the thing, and like
Okay.
the continue with our deliberation and talk amongst us. So that is the framework I have told you. So one more frequency we can
Sure.
do.
I've changed the frequency, and this is a frequency that you can meditate very deeply with, you know, take you into a very deep state of meditation. Anybody like to hop in and share your experience?
Hmm. Spaciousness.
Yes. This was 963.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
So this frequency takes you into deep meditation.
yeah, very much so. Well,
The frequency is still running, so you can tap
Yeah.
into it, you can enjoy it.
A friend of mine, a viewer, is speaking from somewhere else, and she has been telling me in other section in my this thing that she has some problem in network issue. Otherwise, she had something to share.
Mhm.
She said, "Right now, I am not able to share, but maybe once the program is over and when the networks start working, I can
Mhm.
share. Would you like to connect my issues to with?" Mr. Liu, I said, yes, it can be done.
Sure.
Biva Sharma says, does it mean that these frequencies are already in the environment or universe and we just need to tune into them and with the power vents, it will be easy.
Uh, One thing is, see, it's like white light. You know, all the frequencies are there in white light. There is red that has a short wavelength. There's violet that has a greater wavelength. So you just need to tap into it. You need to refract it and use what you need.
But
So we,
her question is that like if you go to the root of Vedas, it says
mm,
that everything is existing in this universe, and
mm,
the Veda, the rishis are they are the drashtas. They have
mm,
the ability and capability to catch those things and tell the
mm,
world and look, this is the life, and this is the
mm,
charisma, and this is the education, this is the shiksha,
mm,
this is the way of
mm.
life. So I think Bhima Sharma probably wants to know from you that these frequency, do they already exist in the environment or universe or nature, and we have to just tune into them. That question she wants to.
See, one thing is like, as it is said, that we have five Gyan Indriyas and five Kam Indriyas. Okay, I think so. That's a well-known fact. That's in the also in I think so in the Mahabharata. Now,
Yeah,
one thing is what's happened is over a period of time, our
yeah,
our calm we have given more emphasis to the calm indriyas and less emphasis to the Gyan indriyas.
yeah.
In the olden days, like there was a rishi, and when people were not well, they used to go to the rishi, and the rishi used to, do some healing and all, and they used to be well. But in today's day, a lot of things have changed. A lot of modernization has happened, and a lot of segregation has happened. Like you have a separate heart surgeon and you have a separate brain surgeon. But the fact is, we forget that we are one body, one unit, and we need to address it as a unit. And these
Okay.
frequencies are there in the world. They are there everywhere.
Wow. Yeah, this is
We just
exactly
need to
what she
tap.
wanted to know
Yeah,
from you.
sure.
This is exactly what she wanted to know from you, that does it already exist in the
Sure.
universe? You say,
Sure.
yes, it does exist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. Viva, I think you got the answer of your question. Anything that you want to know, you can always put the thing. Carry on.
The frequency, as as people are asking questions, the frequency is still on. The deep meditation frequency.
Hmm. Viva feels very happy. She says thank you. So
She's welcome.
you have you have carefully and sensibly, scientifically answered her not the question, query, curiosity. She wanted to know, and you have done it. So, Paula, you want to say something, and you want uh, Danvoy to speak to say something in between, or to compliment what he
Sure.
has
Well,
experimented.
I want to thank you, Leo, for sharing these with us, because I want to say this too, is that I have been using these particular frequencies all together, with a couple of additional ones for the immune system to counter the FIVEG. Okay, if you get my drift, because it has been blasting us for the last couple months. And it's going to blast us even more after April, according to an announcement I recently heard. And one thing it's important to understand is that the FIVEG has the same, it runs at 60 gigahertz, which is the frequency that our hemoglobin transfers oxygen from the lungs into the cells. And so when that particular Wi-Fi is turned on, then you're going to see a lot of COVID symptoms in the population, okay? And they're going to blame it on a VIRUS, but it's actually coming from a frequency. Frequency can cause disease as well as healing. And what I was when I was sharing with you how they created tuned Western music from dissonant to resonant, from resonant frequency to a dissonant. This is what they're doing purposefully on us. This is being orchestrated, these particular frequencies, to take us out, to take humanity out. This is the agenda, folks. So we need to tune in with healing frequencies to heal ourselves and to neutralize the really detrimental frequencies that are being shot down. There's 100,000 satellites, over 100,000 satellites around the earth right now, shooting down FIVEG. Okay, yeah, okay. So, and it's not a joke. I'm making fun of it, but it's something we need to really pay attention to. And this is what's landing certain people's in hospital, okay, right now. And one thing I also want to mention too is that, there's this weird thing happening in Andhra Pradesh right now where people are getting sick from lead poisoning. And I want to mention that 400,000 Americans died of lead poisoning last year, okay? And because our friend Bill Gates is spraying lead all over the world. So, but I've also heard that they can even transfer this kind of thing in frequency form. So, because I read this report yesterday, and there was no clue as to how these people were really getting sick. All they knew was that they had lead poisoning in them, but they couldn't figure out where it had come from. And I would suggest that they look in the soil to see if it's from a chemtrail earlier, yeah, or possibly a frequency being, zapped, because they've been doing experiments on people, on Americans for like 20 years now with this stuff. I got hit by the HAARP machine in 1995, which they are using to do weather warfare, by the way. And both my ex-husband and I, we collapsed at the same moment, and we were like 300 meters apart. and with incredible weakness and dizziness in the same moment. So we need to wake up, folks, that we are being hit with detrimental frequencies all the time now, and it's really accelerating. It's part of the agenda. So this is why I felt it's so important to put this information out to you and ask, you know, Leo and Dan to kindly come on and share the positive frequencies that we can use. And I want to say that I have felt so much better now that you've been using their wands for at least 7 years now, I think it is. And when I first heard that FIVET was going to come out, because I know what it is, I was really, really concerned. And I'm so thrilled to tell you that this little gizmo can neutralize those frequencies. So, but I pray that everybody wakes up to what's going on and demands that the government put a halt to the entire thing. It's really important, or we're all going to die. And I want to say this: in case some of you are not aware, have been millions of birds that have died on our planet in the last few months. In the Southwestern America, over 1 million a couple months ago. In Australia and in Japan, and I want to say this. A Japanese veterinarian picked 3 of the birds that had fallen out of the sky. He took them home and he did autopsies on them, and he found out that they had died of thrombosis. And the way they looked, he said that they had clearly died of human coronavirus and feline, in other words, cat coronavirus. He said it's impossible for this to get into a bird. Well, this was clearly, folks, they were being hit by 5G, okay, from satellites, trying to hit the people of Tokyo, and on the way down, it hit the birds. And this is what's happening all over the world. Millions of birds are dying. Bees are dying. Bugs are dying, okay? And because they have higher, you know, metabolisms than we do. They go faster and they die faster from this stuff. And so people are, like what Dan talked about, that baby who was next to the router, the 2 babies died, okay? It's killing us, folks. This stuff is killing us, and we got to take it serious. And so it's time to wake up. And until people wake up enough to demand that it be stopped, all of it brought to a screeching halt, then we need things like this power wand to neutralize our environment. And it does work. Trust me, I can stay awake now. So I thank you so much for your fine work, Leo and Dan. Thank you so much for coming on to educate us and share this incredible technology, this positive technology that is going to be coming to the earth more and more, you know, free energy, you know, healing frequencies and so on. This is what's been kept from us for 100 years. You know, what Leo and Dan are sharing with us is stuff that, you know, Nikola Tesla came up with 100 years ago. So it's time for us to demand that it be brought to earth. So fine people like Dan and Leo are helping make it possible already for us. So thank you. Really.
Thank you, Paula. You know, it takes me very close to the Vedic mantra of, you know, we have Artha Sutra, you know, the Prithvi Sukta. And Prithvi Sukta says that Vanaspatiya Shanti, Ausadhiya Shanti, Vayu Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That is, you say neutralizing, and they say harmonizing. And I see the word, if I would translate your neutralizing, I will take it as harmonizing. So, you know,
and that's, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yes, exactly. It turns it around.
You know,
I would just like to button over here and say that we have tried running mantras through the power wand. So we have run mantras like Om Mani Padme Om and the Gayatri mantra, and it just, the energy is really taken to the next level, you know. So all mantras, even Vedic mantras, can be run through the power wand, and it will convert the vibration of the mantras into healing energy.
Danvoy, you can unmute yourself. You are muted. You have muted yourself. Can you unmute?
Her mic.
Uh, now your mic works. Now it works. Yeah, you speak. Speak. We can hear you. Again, it is. The problem is still problem is persisting. I think probably she is trying to make some important point. The chanting of mantras and your equating of mantras with your system, taking the mantras from the Vedas and Padma mantra, you were taking that the Buddhist chantings. And when you were telling, I was just connecting it. You don't know, Daisa ko Ikedas. You think you know that thing. And the power of healing and the power of chanting the mantras and connecting yourself with the nature and concentrating. These are the prime things that we have to search. We have to be very, very seriously engaged ourselves to search the parallel, system of keeping good health through our, what you say, the lifestyle culture. Because through the lifestyle only we can control our mind, control our body, and we can, what using the terminology of Paula, neutralize ourselves with the nature. And the outer agencies like coronavirus 19 and now the new virus that has come up in England, some portion of England, they are the serious threat. And again the world is planning to shut down everything, and the poor people are dying. And the people, those, there are many mouth and many versions are there. Some people say some people they are dying. So these things, if these things have to control, we have to follow these natural system which are tested, historical, beyond time and space, because they are seasoned thing. They are most practiced, evaluated, judged, and finally proven practices of human civilization. Maybe any part of world. I don't want to be very romantic and saying that India is the best, but I say that please believe in your ethnographic system. Please believe in your ethno knowledge. Please believe in your folklore. Please believe in the ancient knowledge system that you have. So these are the things. And as a moderator, I am not allowed to pay proper attention to what our speakers speak, because I have to see that everything is being managed. So what I shall do after your lecture is over, I will hear everything with you, everything there, and then I will make my comment. And I'm very influenced the way you people and you, Paula, and Danvoy, and of course you all three, you were delivering and practicing. You were engaging the people. So if it is done, it will be good. And then we will go to various segments, and we can invite you for 30 minutes, for 50 minutes, and 40 minutes, so that our viewers can, in a very close association, can interact with you and can ask the questions. The positivity and negativity about it and the systems. And once they are done, we can say that, okay, we have achieved this level, and we can say, look, we are not doctors, but we are like the grand old mothers who say, the grandmothers who say, in our system, there is a system of grandmamas precautions, do's and don'ts. So if we follow these things, they can work very well. So thank you so very much for coming to our channel, Folk Brain. Thank you, Paula, Dr. Paula Horan, for bringing them. They are wonderful, powerful, magnetic, charismatic, well-read, well-thought, practicing. They are the scientists. They are wonderful people, and they have come to my channel through your efforts. So you deserve, I think, 200% extra, congratulations for bringing them, and they are our real powerful, speakers. So we have a beautiful slogan: once in folk brain, always in folk brain. So you are now an integral part of this platform. We call it folk brain. Anything that if you want to say before I conclude. No voice.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra, for inviting us to your family and making us a part of your family, and for all the kind words you've said to us. And we'd love to be associated
Yeah.
with you. And I really want to thank Dr. Paula in a big way, because she's been our inspiration. She's been our motivation. We've had a lot of hurdles, but I think so she's kept us on point.
Yeah.
She's a very good motivator.
Very good motivator. She was after me, Dr. Misra. Have you shared the link with them or not? I said, don't worry, I have done it.
Yes.
But this was a very, I will say, this was her motherly concern.
Yes,
Paula.
she's very caring and loving,
Yeah,
and she really takes
That you
care
have
of
used
all
the
her
word
students and
motherly
her friends.
concern.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
That's the right word for her.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for your commitment, and thank you for watching the program. And please keep writing your observations, action, and reactions about this program, and I will tell all your queries to the speakers. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
Thank
nice
you.
Thank
day.
you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
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 Bye.